And so when I had finally started growing pubes, there were multiple times where I would pluck one of my own just to add to the collection. Just because I wanted to mark my dead fucking serious.
You're right, Cody. I cannot relate to this story at all. Can Boston relate? Boss, do you relate to this?
No. That's fucking crazy.
There are multiple fucking urinals out there
Can somebody
that
hit
I
the
have
I'm
marked my
retarded
goddamn territory on.
Boston, hit it. I'm kind of retarded.
Right, bro?
I don't think anybody's okay right now.
Huh?
I don't think anybody's okay right now.
No, bro. I used to pluck pubes and just fucking mark my territory because I was like, these motherfuckers are not gonna take my urinal. I went full dog energy on that shit, bro.
Boss, did you ever stand outside the bathroom?
Did you have like bathroom tweezers or were you just
Yeah.
No, bro.
grabbing a handful?
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
What's up, guys?
What's up, motherfuckers?
Thanks for sticking with us. You guys have been great listening to the episode, getting those downloads in. Through all the technical difficulties, we're trying to keep them pumping out as quick as we can. I am your usual host, Boston. This is Cody. This is Don't Tell Me. Thanks for tuning in.
This is the most lackluster fucking intro
I got laid off today, dude. What do you want?
You sound like fucking NPR right now. You're just sitting here like,
thinking,
I'm your usual host,
I was thinking
Boston.
we should start an ASMR channel.
How much do you like this? Do you like my cock in your ass?
Wow. That's problematic.
That's problematic. That
What
needs
was
to be
that
a
voice?
sound
I
drop.
love
I
that
don't know.
voice.
I don't know.
Let's go back and find that. We'll make that a sound drop. That's problematic. Bum, bum.
So, anyways, let's get this shit kicked off.
Yeah. So I got laid off today. That was fucking sweet. Wow. Do we have a cheering? Do we have people cheering and clapping? Is that a sound drop we have?
No.
Oh, that's fucking lame.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Is that why you got laid off?
Pretty close. That was good enough. Yeah, no, I got laid off today. It was weird, man. It was really weird.
Kill yourselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. But yeah, no, I don't know, man.
So, how's that unemployed life?
So far, pretty good. I got really fucked up. We went straight from, so this was like a funny part. I walk in, right, and it's like our GM is sitting there, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, clearly not in my uniform, like dressed to like go straight home from this meeting.
Well, they told you to be there at 2 p.m. and
Right.
don't come in before that.
Yeah, I was like,
You
okay.
know something's happening.
He's like, "How you doing?" I was like, "Well, I know why I'm here." So I was kind of being an ass through the whole thing. Not gonna lie, like I was just being like they were trying to be like the this was just a really hard decision. And I was like, okay, I was okay, yeah, all right, whatever,
Dude.
Through
just
the whole
fucking
thing.
do it. It's a Band-Aid. Rip it off.
Literally, I'm like, can I just give me my money so I can leave?
Quit being the fucking girlfriend that's trying to break up with me. It's not you, it's me.
Literally,
really.
that's what I felt like. I was like, "Grr." This is a waste of everyone's time. But yeah, no, that was fun. Go subscribe to the Patreon, please. Please.
He's gonna be homeless.
I'm gonna.
He
be
already
honest.
looks it.
Yeah. Well, that's actually funny that you bring that up though, because we went straight from there to another store in town that was closing, And I don't know if you've ever been into a store that's close. That's not true. We went and got tacos first, which hurt my tummy. Something awful. Just real bad, dude. I was walking through there just like, oh, God, can we leave? You know.
Your body knew it was the last time you'd be able to afford tacos.
So we got tacos, and then we went over to the Macy's that is closing. And I don't know, have you ever been to a store that's like been liquidating everything in the store? Like it's a going out of business sale.
I'm pretty sure like every furniture company ever is always going out of business, but that's
True.
I feel like there's been fucking places that are going out of business sale for like the past decade.
Right, but like a place like Macy's, you know what I mean? Like there's always that like going out of business sale in some little tiny fucking spot in a strip mall, you know?
Right.
This is a department store that's selling the racks that their clothes go on.
That's fucking awesome.
It was so funny, dude. We're walking in the door and I see this old lady wheeling a cart out, like a shopping rack, wheeling it out of the store. And I was like, they're even selling the racks. I'm totally joking, thinking she works there or something. And she's like moving them. She's like, yeah, they're only like $40. And I look and there's a $40 price tag on it. Fair enough, dude. And we go in, dude. You walk in and it looks like a Middle Eastern bazaar. Like there's rugs all over the place in stacks. There's randomly off to the side a boombox from 1998 that only has tape decks. It's a two tape. It's a two tape.
Oh, it's one of them double tapes.
Yeah, you can have two tapes in there.
Dude, that was like $200 back in the day.
It's only $40.
Can't find any fucking music to play on it.
But what I couldn't tell was that just like in their inventory since 98 and got lost behind a shelf and they just found it while they were selling everything? Or was that like the dock speaker the company bought for them? So they were like, sorry, you guys can't take this after we laid you off. Because, they laid off the dock workers. So
yeah.
You guys, nobody can take this. We bought it. So they just selling it with the liquidation sale in the front.
Not like anyone fucking wanted it. What are you going to play on it?
Fucking all my tapes, bro.
All two of them.
Yeah, I have like two tapes.
I guess you could go to like those old, there's a couple like bookstores and shit that are like mom and pop, but they sell the fucking tape decks and just like old ass equipment that we had in the 90s.
Well, I don't really need it. I have that, like, this is really cool. My grandma left me this. It was like what you call it? Like a media entertainment center, but like an old one. So it had a 6-disc CD changer, like a
was luxury.
2 or 3 tape player, nice stereo for the time, and then like a record player in it.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like a huge cabinet. It's like it's fucking tall. It's huge.
Weighs a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't moved because I don't want to move all that shit. But, yeah, I don't need it. But, I mean, that was cool to see. I've never seen it. You never thought you would see a 2-tape boombox for sale at Macy's in 2023. Producer, have you ever been to a liquidation sale like that?
I have, but not where I'm finding like, relics of the break room out for sale. No.
Literally.
They're selling the break room microwave too.
That's what, honestly, when I saw this picture from Boston, I immediately was like, are they selling like the CD or like boombox tape deck like that they used to play the music in the store or something? Like they really couldn't just,
literally
hand
in
it
the
off to an
90s,
employee
though.
like, here you go.
It was a boombox, dude, like a Sony. It had 2 speakers mounted on the side. Full on.
They've been struggling since 1988.
It's fucking weird though, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like I got some pants and shit for super cheap because it's a liquidation sale, but like the rack those pants were on was also for sale. So I'm like, what if somebody says they want this rack? Like,
just throw it on the ground.
They just put all the pants on the floor or something. Yeah, it was.
Why did you not just pick up all the shit that they were selling so we could decorate the studio as a Macy's?
I thought about buying one of the rugs because they had some rugs that were like $40 and they were like big rugs, and hanging it back here for like soundproofing.
All right.
But I don't know. I thought that would have looked a little trashy. It was fucking cool though, dude. Like they're selling like the jewelry stands, like those spinning ones in the plastic cases. They were like $60.
Dude, we
with
should
the
have
key lock and everything.
we should have had that like we were sitting at the Macy's
What
fucking
you
counter.
want? What can I get you? What you want? You need earrings? You need earrings? We'll be like the guy at the mall.
We could just put like bongs and shit in it. Look like we're selling at a fucking head
Right.
shop.
Do you know what you could do with it, boss?
What?
And I kind of wish you bought one now. Do you remember going to Taco Bell back in the day and they had that little water thing with the coins?
Dude.
The
Oh
water
man,
thing?
we could have made. Yeah, it's like a.
Remember it had
at-
the coin slot in the top and you would like spin the thing to try to
didn't-
get the coin.
It didn't have
onto the-
water in it though.
Yeah,
And
it
that's
did.
no,
it was
didn't.
like
They originally
blue-
did.
Yeah, it was like blue liquid.
blue water or some
Oh,
shit,
the
and
one
then it became
that we
like
always
dry.
used to go to in Brighton never had water in it. But I was actually talking to my girlfriend about
not-
that the other day.
Not like later on, but like in the early 2000s, they all had
Oh.
water in them. And I'm
They
sure
all had
before that, but they
water.
all had water in them. And then at some point, they just stopped putting water in them. But it wasn't water. It was like blue. I think it cleaned the pennies, like it sanitized them or something.
Do you think
Dude,
Taco
that
Bell
would have
had
made
money
that
for
game
that,
so
dude?
much fucking easier.
It wasn't full of water. It just had a little bit of water at the bottom.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was like a tank.
No. It just had a little bit of water at the bottom. And then you would try to get it onto the thing.
Gotcha. But dude, I was talking to my fucking girlfriend about that last night actually, because I bought those cinnamon twists, from Taco Bell. And she was like, "Why the hell do you buy them?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, I haven't had them since I could win them for a fucking penny, getting them on that machine." She's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "God, you are way too young for me. If you don't remember that."
Well, yeah, no, they were. It was funny too because there was like a hierarchy of like there was the guys that could win, you know, a whatever it was. I got to where I could, if you did the quarter on the last one, you could get a burrito.
Yeah.
I could nail that every time, dude. Clearly, fucking rocked that shit.
Well,
I got
that-
to where I could, and the key there was like a sweet spot where it would just drop straight onto that.
Yeah, and you just kind of like twist it enough to
Mhm.
where it'll land onto the next
But there was
peg.
like there was always the guys that could only hit the fucking crunchy twist or only hit the taco.
No, those were. It
But it-
was if you used a penny, a nickel, and a quarter.
but
I
it
always
depended
did-
on where you caught it though.
You always had to get it down to the small bottom one.
Oh right,
It just
okay,
depended
okay,
on
yeah.
what coin you used. But I would only use pennies because I didn't want the fucking.
Oh, so am I just
taco or
thinking those
anything?
people never had quarters? I was like, those fucking poor asses that could only get the taco or only get the crunchies. I always got that burrito, dog.
Dude, I only wanted the crunchies.
That's why I was addicted. I was addicted for a hot minute to just like the bean burritos at Taco Bell because of that.
It tastes like childhood.
Yeah, good times, better times.
Maybe it was Baja Blast in there. I don't know. I was just thinking of like
I think
all the
this was
things that it could
pre-Baja
be
Blast
still.
days, dude.
Dude, when
don't-
did
That was
come
pre
around?
Baja Blast.
Producer, can you look up when Baja Blast came out?
Like when Taco Bell introduced it to the restaurant, or when Baja Blast came out.
I
Or
think
No,
those
both?
I
were
think it was only
simultaneous.
a Taco
It
Bell
was-
thing.
Yeah, it was originally just for Taco Bell. They released it outside of Taco Bell at some point.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years. It's probably been like 4 or 5 years at this point, but
It says 2004.
2004, huh?
yeah, that's about as far as my memory goes anymore.
Yeah.
First introduced, but it was bright orange color and it had a fruity flavor. Baja Blast is a cult following among Taco Bell fans. So I wonder if it was orange first, and that's why we're not remembering it being blue.
Orange.
Oh, could be.
I don't know.
I remember they had
They
an
took-
orange one
Isn't
for a
that
while, but
their,
it
like,
was like not. It
Volt-
wasn't. Yeah.
No, not voltage. That one was red.
You're thinking of High C.
Did they used to do a bunch of different like specialty ones for Taco Bell and Baja Blast just stuck?
They do, yeah, because remember the slushies had that for a minute.
They still do, dude. You can still get a Baja Blast slushie.
Bro, that sounds bomb right
yeah,
now.
it does. As soon as she said it, I was like, "Fuck, I want a Baja Blast slushie."
Dude, throw some vodka in that bitch. That would be
Some
delicious.
tequila, bro.
Ooh,
Some
even
margarita.
better.
Baja Blast margarita.
Why
That's it.
have
what happened
we,
to those Taco Bell cantinas, dude? Those were like gonna
It's
be
in
a
our
thing.
fucking living room.
What? Oh yeah.
It's our living room where your fish lives.
Remember they were gonna have like Taco Bell cantinas for a while that had like alcoholic beverages.
That one in
That
Vegas
sounds
is still
so
open.
dangerous.
What's up?
The one in Vegas is still open. The big one with the giant wall of alcoholic, like the Mountain Dew slushies and stuff.
Is it?
It is.
That might be a reason to go to Vegas in and of itself.
Right.
Yeah.
I want an alcoholic Baja Blast straight from the titty.
Bro, why have we not started? Oh, I thought you were pressing a sound button. Why have we not started just a bar of like alcoholic slushies?
I feel like that's a thing somewhere.
Not around here.
No. Yeah, we could probably do very well with that.
Dude, open it up in FOCO.
I know there's bars that do that. Oh, I'm thinking of Fuzzy's. Fuzzy's Tacos does all the slushy machines, but they're margarita machines.
Yeah, but I'm talking like legit slushy. I'm thinking like all of your kid
like
treats.
Like the all the Slurpee flavors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I want it to be a
Coca-Cola
dessert.
and a blue raspberry and a pina colada.
I want it to be a dessert for like a dessert place for adults. It's like going to the candy store, but just like you're gonna go get fucked up.
Like, you want to go to the slushy shop? Who's driving?
You imagine cleaning up the puke in that place? It looks like a fucking
dude.
unicorn shit, the whole thing.
Oh my god.
Dude, you know how 7-Eleven
feel,
does the like
You can't stay there and drink though. You have to go home. Like, you have to take it to go. They all have to be to go.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be taking care of that. We'll
You
hire
know how,
someone to take care of that shit.
you know
Ain't gonna be me.
7-Eleven does that Slurpee Day thing where you can like bring in your own cup and people are bringing in like kiddie pools and
Right.
stuff. So, what if like Taco Bell Cantina did that and you got like their Twisted is their alcoholic version of a slush or something and people
I'd
had the
bring a
kiddie
swimming pool
pools.
for that.
Dude, I just
walking down the
back up the
strip with the
fucking
kiddie
truck
pool?
with a tarp.
Yeah. Well, you know
I
what's
just see-
fucked about that though? I never realized those people that bring like the 5-gallon bucket and shit. Those things don't even like hold 5 gallons. Like, they're sitting there making them make another batch to finish filling the 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind
but
of
do you think they have all the same flavor in there? They're probably just mixing it at that point just to get.
Dude, if you're white trash enough to bring a 5-gallon
Yeah.
bucket into a 7-Eleven for a Slurpee, I guarantee you don't care about the fucking
Yeah,
flavor.
they're just running one till it runs out and hitting the next one.
You're suiciding that bitch, just all of
Yeah.
them at the same time.
It's like the gas shortage when people were filling gas in trash bags.
Oh my god, dude, that was
Yeah,
so dumb.
that was. Those are people that don't understand chemistry.
Dude, you know what I ran into the other night? And I honestly forgot until just now. I wanted to bring this on here. I went and bought salads for dinner at like this like bougie salad place. You know, it was like crunchy greens or some shit.
That's the most granola shit I've ever heard.
I think it's called Wendy's, dude.
I'll have a chicken salad. Hold the salad, please.
Right. They were bomb salads. They were expensive as fuck. But I get to pay and like, you know, I'm gonna use my card anyway. But I'm like hit the thing to like do the card transaction and there's no tip option. And I was like, you guys don't have a tip option? And she's like, no, I guess it's because we're like technically a cashless business. And I was thinking about it, and I've worked for a cashless business before. It just never occurred to me, like, that's such a weird stance for a business to take, right? Like, we're cashless.
I mean, it makes sense in today's age, and then that way you can't get robbed. You're not
Yeah,
gonna
but you
get
also
held at
can't,
gunpoint
you
for
know,
it.
fudge the numbers a little. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it's your everything is accounted for with that. I guess it makes that a little bit easier to track your finances, but
I mean, they
know,
find other ways to fudge the numbers.
as an owner of a salad shop, you're gonna walk in and grab $10 out of the till every now and then. You know, like it makes that pretty hard to do.
Gotta afford my own salad.
Those are the guys that are funneling half of the income into their own bank account instead of, you know, just taking a 20 out of the cash register every now and then.
Well, I mean, if you're charging $20 for a salad, you're getting half that income anyways and just straight profit.
True.
A salad does not cost that.
Yeah, dude, I got 2 salads. It was like fucking $40.
That is retarded.
They were big salads, but
Lettuce is not that expensive.
no.
I buy a whole fucking head of lettuce and just start munching on that motherfucker for like $2.
Well, yeah, and that's the weird thing is like I had them make my girl salad, and you know she likes all the fixins, whereas I'm more of like a Caesar guy. I got like a nice Caesar salad, so I got the chicken Caesar, and like her salad is fucking loaded to the brim with like fucking different grains and fruits and all kinds of shit. And she doesn't like chicken, so I had them do 2 scoops of bacon instead of chicken. I was like,
To
damn.
cancel out all of the salad.
Literally, I was like, that salad looks fucking good. And then mine came out, and it's just like lettuce and chicken or whatever, or kale and chicken.
Ah, solid $20 for
Sick.
kale and chicken.
They're the same goddamn price. They're both $13.
Jesus.
So
For my weird lettuce and
that's
chicken.
a long way to say I'm over salads. I'm not doing them anymore. But no, I really think like cashless is a weird stance for a business to take.
Depends on your goal.
Well, I mean, like, it's okay. So if you think about it, like you're probably not saving that much money by doing it because, you know, having a Brinks truck come or whatever is by the time you add up all the credit card fees for every transaction you do, it's probably
Right.
similar.
I would assume.
I
But
don't
if
know.
you have to, the problem is like most 90% of people are going to be paying with card anyways. And then to also have that Brinks truck come.
You know what I think it is? I think it's a scam to, not a scam, but like a
Conspiracy.
a crafty conspiracy kind of way to like keep homeless people from coming into your establishment because they always have cash and change. They don't have debit cards. You can't use
If they did, I'd
you
be
can't
questioning
use your
some shit.
EBT at a card only establishment.
Yeah, you can. The EBT comes as a debit card now.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to use it at the fucking like Crunchy Greens though. If
That'd
you
be
can,
weird
that's
if you
fucked up.
can, yeah.
If you can, that's fucked up.
It's like over on the native reses, they'll have natives sit outside. Well, they won't, but natives will just sit outside of like convenience stores.
talking okay. You're talking like Native American reservations.
Yeah,
okay. Native res. I'm like, your screen's resolute.
Fucking tech nerd.
The native res.
But no, they'll sit outside of like convenience stores and shit in Arizona, and they'll say, "Hey," like to people walking in, they'll come up to you and say, "Hey, I'll
Is
buy
this
your
YouTube?
groceries."
Is this YouTube friendly?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a thing that actually happens. They'll sit outside, say, "I'll buy your groceries if you buy me beer," because their EBT won't buy alcohol. So they'll buy your groceries and you buy them beer. You make like $5 or whatever. You end up saving, and then they get their alcohol.
Seems like a good trade off.
It's a good workaround, yeah.
They are nothing if not traders, eh? Oh, where's the we do a little trolling? I'm just kidding. You're all right. I'm not gonna touch you. The Justin Roiland.
Can't even remember what fucking things I have on
That
there.
one. It's the blue one in the corner.
Well, now it is,
Yep.
but it is a little late for
Hit it, fucker.
It's a little late.
Hit it.
No.
Hit it.
Dear God, you white bitch.
I got laid off today, dude. I'm a little fucked up. Leave me alone. Yeah. It's a weird thing. I don't know. Like, how are you to tip people? You know?
You see,
Yeah,
I
that-
have the opposite problem with what you do.
Uh.
Why the fuck am I tipping for a salad? Like, why am I tipping for everything that I've
well,
never
here's the-
tipped for?
I hear that. Having worked in the industry, it's kind of like I'm in the middle where I'm like, yes, this is basically a Subway for a salad. It's a Chipotle style for salads, whatever. You know, you assembled my salad. You did barely any work. I'm still like, I'm going to leave $1 tip. You know, I leave $1 on a $40 tab. It's barely a tip, but it's something in their pocket, you know?
And I get
And
that.
that adds up. That little bit adds up over the hour, you know?
I get that. But with the fucking, the iPad shit bullshit that they
No.
always flip around to you, why is it always 15, 18, or 15, 20, and 25% tips? Like, if I want to do like $1 or something, all right, yeah, no, whatever. Like, you're
I've
in a
only
shit
ex-
job. I get that.
I've only experienced that at not at jobs, at like restaurants or whatever, places that serve food or beverages. I've only experienced that at like not high end, but you know, restaurants where you're eating. Like if you go into a place that has the like electronic checkout thing, like a Red Lobster or something, like it says 15, 20, 28, whatever. I've never run into that at like a Starbucks or, you know, wherever else they do that.
Dude,
It's always
anywhere-
like it's like $1. I mean, I guess it is $1 on like a $6 drink, but
Yeah, anywhere that they're using those fucking iPads that flip around to you so you can finish the transaction, the options are always 15, 20, 25%. Instead of like, all right, yeah, I came in to get a fucking coffee or
Well,
whatever.
if I don't see anything on that options menu that's $2 or less, I fucking hit the custom option and type in $1 or $2, depending on what it was.
Yeah, but I'm too fucking lazy for that.
I know
And
it's
then I
extra work
also-
to give them extra money, but
But I also feel bad because I used to be in the service industry, but where I was paid less because I was expected to be tipped. So like 20% has always been my minimum. Usually it's like 25
but
or
those
like
places
a
a
$5
lot
minimum.
of times, like when you're doing the tip at those kinds of places, it's usually split up among everyone. So like if you leave $1 or $2 tip, they're only getting 25 cents on that transaction from what they did for you, you know.
And that's not my problem.
But places will still pay shit wages for that just because they're like, you have the ability to be tipped. You know, like it was like the place I bartended at a place that did that split all the tips among the kitchen and dude, the fucking host took part of our tips.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I was
I
a
hate-
bartender.
dude.
Are you kidding me? I could have walked out of there with $300 a night based on my business, like how many tips I brought in, but I didn't because I had to fucking split it with the kitchen and the wait staff and the host.
Dude, tip pooling is the dumbest shit.
It's dumb as shit, and I don't get it in a restaurant. I get it at like a fucking Chipotle or some shit, you know.
It's some communist ass shit.
I have a I have a really like interesting point to both. Excuse me,
Are
both
you
of those.
choking on your own spit right now?
Are you crying, dude?
No,
Stop
I've
crying,
been
dude.
crying, dude.
Stop crying.
I've been
The
crying.
service
Why are you
industry
crying?
will do that to you.
Yeah, that's
The service
exactly it,
industry
dude.
will make you cry. That is a fact.
It will, dude. Oh, so I'm with Cody and I'm with Boston at the same time. I'm with both of you guys, but for different reasons. I worked at Starbucks, so I was in that tip pooling region, which made sense. But going back to the homeless thing, it was frustrating when we had people come in and they're just like, I need a coffee, and I'm like, I feel bad for the guy, so I grab a couple bucks out of there sometimes. But then it became an issue when they started grabbing out of our tip jar to pay for it, and it was like,
The
dude,
homeless people
come
were
on.
grabbing out of your tip jar to
Yeah.
pay for their
What?
coffee.
That's
Yeah.
called stealing.
That's theft.
Yeah, and it
You
was
can
a
call
big
the cops
problem.
for that.
We had a couple times just because they were
Oh,
like
jeez.
loitering for too long and causing issues with other customers and stuff. But it was frustrating because it was like, dude, when I worked at Starbucks, I was making like exactly minimum wage, and so that tip money being pooled even was covering my gas every week. It was great. It was only like $30 a week, but that was still $30, dude. Like it was awesome. But when that shit went down, I wasn't as cool because then it's like, all right, you're directly stealing out of my pocket right now. And it wasn't even homeless people sometimes, dude. It would be businessmen coming in with their fucking $500 suits and they just grab a couple change out of our tip jar. And I'm like,
What the fuck?
okay. Yeah, it happened all the time.
That's crazy.
And you
But
didn't say
also,
anything? Like,
we
they're
did.
at the
Yeah.
counter.
No, Starbucks Corporation is honestly one of the worst corporations to work for.
I
well,
was
I know
gonna
they.
say, dude, like the cash thing's a weird stance to take. A weirder stance to take is our restaurant is a safe haven for homeless people.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a much
that's what
weirder
it
stance
became.
to take.
My tip
It
jar is
it
feeding
was.
everyone.
Yeah. Well, and on the service side, when I was a waitress for a while, I know a lot of restaurants do this, so it's not uncommon, but we also got tip pooled for uh the bussers and the hostesses and hosts and whatever, bartender fee, all that jazz. But the shitty thing was that the restaurant I worked with, it became a thing that the guys that were bussers wouldn't bus your table unless you pre-bussed it for them. And that meant pretty much taking everything back except the glasses. They were like, "Oh no, we'll get the glasses and wipe your table." I'm like, why don't I just do it at this point and then take my freaking percentage back at the end of the night? Like, I'm literally, you're taking like a quarter of my tips, like between the entire restaurant for the entire night. So they're probably getting like 5% of it, but that's still like my tip is paying for you to bus my table.
Did you have to do that
Well,
at B-Dubs?
So, yeah, that's.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mention the restaurant. You
Oh, I don't give a shit. They're a corporate restaurant. Like,
uh,
what the fuck are they gonna do?
sued
But
the
no, when
fucking pants off you.
I don't give a shit. Like
For
when I
what?
worked
It's
at,
true. You have no assets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna take my
You have-
debt?
You have literally zero assets.
Cody's like, "Dear
Take
God,
my
please
Corolla,
take it."
dude. I don't care. You're doing me a favor. I was gonna have it towed anyway.
I owe the government 20 grand. You gonna split that with me?
That'd be nice.
Right? Someone sues you. You're like, all right, you incurred my debt.
Yeah.
But no, like when I worked at B-Dubs, we didn't tip. Like we tipped out our bartenders, and that was 1% of alcohol sales. Was all
That
we would
makes
tip 'em.
sense. That
Um,
makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Just
no,
FYI.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. I always tipped my bartenders way better.
Oh, yeah.
Sneeze so fucking hard. Jesus Christ.
But like we were in charge of bussing our own tables and shit. Unless it got really busy, then the host would step in. Or if I was feeling lazy that day or was just trying to get as many tables as I could, I would tell the host, be like, "Hey, look, I'll give you $20. You clean my tables like as I'm finished with them. Give them $20. That was like double that was like 2 hours of work for them at the time. And then they would clean it but I was never forced to tip besides the bartender.
That should be a personal choice, though, and I like that, Cody. Like that you were like able to do that and not make it like
Yeah.
this is mandated by the corporation that you give these people this, but then people get to decide how they're going to behave toward you. Like
I feel
if
like that
I,
could have gone the other way
know-
though, then because like they expect that tip, and then if you don't want to tip them, then it becomes a thing. But when I was bartending, I had to bartend and serve. Like I had the section by the bar,
Right.
so. But then I'm also sharing my tips with the kitchen and the rest of the servers and the host while I'm doing bartending and serving, and I'm raking in. Obviously, you make more tips at the bar than you do in the restaurant.
Right. Well, and tipping out the
And I'm busting my own tables. I forgot that was like the point of what I was gonna say. I'm not only serving and bartending. I'm also bussing all of my own tables.
well, and tipping out the kitchen is retarded to me.
Literally,
Like,
dude,
they
you
get
pay the
paid-
kitchen.
They get paid well, like decent at least. And the whole point of the tip is because you're serving the customer. Like
Right.
it's your service that gets that. That's what's always pissed me off about like places that will actually do legitimate tip pooling where everyone's tips go into this giant pool and it's split evenly between the servers. Because
Yep.
I used to get better
That's how
fucking
that place was.
I used to get way better tips. Like I was always averaging like 30 to 50% tips because I had good service. I was friendly with people. Like, I was cracking jokes. Like, I was being more than just like, all right, what do you want? And so I would get better tips. Like, why would I get better if this is just going to get split between everyone?
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like it kills your motivation to like have that, you know, that little extra bit that makes people really like that place, you know, that personality.
Right. People that
And-
want to come back and actually
yeah.
request you. And
Yeah.
like, no one wants to fucking do that if you're not making that money.
Right. Yeah. Real dumb shit. What's your, I don't know, what would it be? Our Emma, you came up with this earlier. What did you say it was like worst firing?
Oh yeah, what was your worst experience with either being like fired, laid off, or just walking out on a job? Like, what was your worst experience leaving a job?
Someone go. I'll have to think about this one real quick.
I know this wasn't Boston's worst, so that's why I brought it up because
Yeah.
I know that there's some stories,
I've
and I know
had-
Cody
I've
has
had
stories.
some really bad ones. Oh man, I don't know which one to talk about. Like, and I kind of want, like, I almost have to name drop the company too to like make it make sense on one of them. But
Make it make sense.
do you have a good one?
Me or Cody?
You.
Yeah, I think mine was pretty crazy. I think the worst one, because I've always been pretty mutual with jobs and very respectful about leaving, even if there was like shit going on before I left. One job where I worked at an urgent care while I was an EMT, that one got pretty ugly at the end, just because there was a lot of illegal shit they were doing.
Fun.
Yeah, no, and I was like, I don't want my name part of this company, you know, because you guys will be sued one day. And it was during COVID time, so we were overworked, underpaid, no hazard pay for us, and it was frustrating because like they were so out of equipment, quote unquote. They just didn't want to buy us any more new stuff that we had to reuse masks and
Oh.
like
that's
different shit
very,
every day. Yeah,
legal.
our own, but still like I was using a paper mask for 5 days, and it was disgusting.
Gross.
Like, yeah, and then we were so understaffed, so we were doing like I was doing a tech job, a front desk job, and COVID testing people all at one clinic while a provider, a PA, sat in the back. And that was like my final straw, was that I went through 60 patients one day just testing, and 3 patients that came in where I had to act as receptionist, do their insurance, take them to the back, do their vitals, gather their information, go back outside, test people while they're in a car line. And that was the day that I was like, I'm done here. And so my last day that I came in, and they were like, hey, we have this paper, if you could fill this out. It's like an exit interview thing, you know, just so we can improve, or, you know, just kind of like share your experience with us. I was like, oh yeah, no problem,
I
dude.
would have wrote "Go
Oh.
fuck yourself."
I did. I did. I did, dude. Like, I still have a picture of it somewhere. I would love to. I'd have to find it, but it was so great. I mean, it was the classic, like, any reason that, like, any particular reason you are wanting to leave, you know, and it was all like fill in the, you know, you write a little paragraph answer or something if you want, or, you know, whatever. But I essentially was like,
Recently, it
this,
has come to my attention that this place
Yeah.
can go suck my dick.
yeah, dude. I literally just called
Emma-
them on their
Emma-
bullshit.
Emma goes into the fucking. Emma goes into the exit interview like Macho Man Randy Savage. Listen here. Oh, it's gonna be fucking rough. I'm gonna break you, and I'm gonna leave and get another job.
All in my finest penmanship.
Yeah.
But no,
I'm gonna
dude.
Find elsewhere employment.
I think
With
it was
all
one of the.
respect, everyone here is a giant clit missile, and they can go fuck themselves.
That's what I wrote,
You're
dude, for my
uglier than
name.
the hemorrhoid on my asshole.
No, I mean, honestly, I think it was one of the worst jobs I've ever had, which was such a shame because I had just finished my certification, and they were the first people to hire me. And then COVID hit, and it just became a shit show. And I was really disappointed because knowing that I was quitting meant that I know I was not going to get another job anywhere. Because although hospitals and urgent cares and standalone ERs and whatever, they were urgently hiring, but they needed help and understaffed, but they weren't really hiring, if you know what I mean. Like they just couldn't, they didn't have the budget because they had to pay these people hazard pay. And I was like, well, at least they're getting hazard pay. But I knew that when I quit, that I was walking away from being an EMT, and that was a part that gutted me, and that this job had, ruined all of that for me. But
Well, they were also
I think,
getting they had the money
oh
because
yeah,
they were getting a lot of fucking.
Yeah.
You were getting.
They
the
were getting
hospitals were getting
government
bonus
funding.
monies for.
Were the urgent cares though?
Yeah, no,
see,
Yeah.
all of them. They were getting. That's why there were so many like died from or died with COVID things because the government.
Bleep. This is on YouTube. Don't say that.
No, you can now.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
All right. No, he's 100% factual.
like,
What he say?
The hospitals were. Colorado's actually a huge example. They were always like, oh, there's been this many COVID deaths because everyone was writing it as a COVID death because the hospital was getting more money from the government for every COVID death they had.
Yeah.
right.
And
But
I'm
the-
sure
you know what
a lot of those
the-
people probably had COVID, but either got it in the hospital or it added on to a situation they were already in, like cancer,
Yeah, Colorado's like COVID death went down by like 60% once they had to make the distinction of died from COVID or died with COVID.
Oof.
Well, let me tell you the garbage part. That this place was a family-owned company, and it was outside of like a healthcare network-owned hospital. So like you have SCL Health in Colorado, you have UC Health, whatever else, So this was a standalone, like one dude that was this dad, and all his daughters worked there without degrees running this place, and he was a
Ooh.
doctor who decided to go
Solid.
back to school. Yeah, he went back to school in his 40s, was like, I'm gonna become a doctor, and then started opening all these clinics and urgent cares and stuff. So
Let me
they didn't
guess,
have
his
it.
first
business
degree
model.
was in business.
It was.
Yeah.
And the funniest part is they didn't even seem to know how to run it because, again, all of his daughters, no degrees, were running this shit. They were hiring. My manager before I left was a manager of a boutique. That was her previous experience as a manager. And she was running an urgent care. And that's where it started getting a little illegal, is because they were telling me how to do medical procedure stuff. And I was like, you can't, give me those orders
You
legally.
don't have medical training. You
And
don't
I was
even
like-
have your first aid certificate.
No, yeah, none of them. They weren't even CPR certified, and they were our
Oh,
managers.
Dear God.
That's why.
I had my CPR certification when I was like 13. It's a 2-day course.
I only know
Yeah.
for my girlfriend that even the fucking vet field is better than that. Like their managers
yeah.
were at one point techs.
Yeah.
That's bad.
No, I mean, and our best man, and you know what got like kind of we had like a conspiracy going around, is that this one guy that was hired in, because when they started opening a bunch of random clinics during the beginning of 2020, we were already understaffed. They hired in these managers. This bitch was one of them who had no experience. The other guy was an MA, a medical assistant for like 10 plus years, and was an instructor at a community college. So we're like, boom, qualified. And of course, he was an amazing manager. He was like a mentor, he's like showing you how to do all this stuff.
Right.
They fired him
He
within
could
2
put in
months.
an IV.
They what?
They fired him within 2 months.
Whoa, because he was
And
asking too many questions or telling them they were
That's
doing
what
illegal
we
shit?
were thinking. Yeah, because we remember that there was these weird email chains that we were part of where he would kind of just fire back like, hey, yeah, no, we shouldn't do that. And then one day it was like, oh yeah, so and so's gone. We're not going to speak about it, and that's the end of it. And we were like, yeah, no, he found something that was not, like, they were embezzling money in all sorts of places that like the family was, and we think it was like a tax fraud thing, and that they were wrongfully billing patients, which we already knew as techs.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it was a whole big thing, dude. That was one of my biggest reasons. I'm like, beyond the mistreatment that I got so bad, just like verbally and like just from my work labor that they were requiring and underpayment. I mean, it was just the bottom line was me getting out of there because I
to-
seen this shit, and I was like, I'm not gonna be part of this, dude. I can't. Like, I
There's
morally
gonna be a
cannot be
Netflix
part of this.
documentary about this place one day.
Oh yeah, and you know what's
And
wild?
to think I've come to her for medical advice before.
Well, and I I'll say the last part of it that I think it's crazy is that to this day, I still see them opening urgent cares around this area in Colorado, like in the like Denver metro area. An old one closes and I see that there's signs out front saying coming soon, and I'm like, oh shit, dude, they're trying to capitalize in Colorado, and that is not good. So I will never go to them or recommend anybody ever go to them
Yeah.
for medical anything. So it's like, oh dang, dude, like how are they still in business? Apparently they're that good at lying about something, but
What's the
yeah, that's
statute
my
on limit? What's the statute of limitations on like talking about companies that you've worked for?
Unless you sign an NDA, I don't think there technically is one.
Okay. Yeah, no, I worked for a heavy machinery company that Cody also worked for at one point.
Oh,
And I was like training one of my friends who I had gotten a job there for. Like he's actually one of our mutual friends, like going way back, good buddies. And I'm training him on how to be a lube tech, right? And we changed the oil on this fucking like giant scraper, you know.
the fun ones.
Yeah, the it takes a long time to do kind of ones.
Dual engine.
Yeah, literally 2 engines. And then essentially what happened was the hydraulic oil tank cap got left off before it like went out on a delivery to a job site. And I knew I didn't do that. Like I didn't do the hydraulics on that one. And I, got the message the next day like, hey, that fucking scraper went, spewing hydraulic oil down the highway, like it's an EPA issue. I think you should not come in for a while, like they told me to stay home it was like 3 weeks, dude, that I was just sitting at home like, do I have a job? Like what's happening? And it was literally like, it was the most childish shit ever. It was like a timeout, dude. It was dumb as hell. So I finally went in one day and I just walked in and I was like, let me talk to my manager because this is bullshit. Like, I'm not doing this. So I went in and like, I think they were going to keep me on, but the guy that I was training, who was like a good buddy of mine, we're still friends and like, we're over this, but he just was like, didn't want to lose his job. So he went in and like, was like, oh, he did that. Like totally pinned the whole thing on me.
I know the person you're talking about, and yeah, taking fault is not his forte.
So he went in and just pinned the whole thing on me, and I was like, dude, I got you this job. Like, I've been here 3 years longer than you. Are you serious? I'd been there so long, I went through 2 managers, one of whom I got fired because he was stealing shit from the company. Like, that's how into this company I was. I was like, I reported it when my boss was stealing shit. At that point, I was like, damn, I wish I hadn't have done that. I wish I would have let him live his dream, Like, he was stealing shit to start his own company.
Yeah, he was just taking the lube truck out.
Yeah, I should have just been like, fucking peace, king, Good luck.
Business together, let's go.
But he was mean to me, so I didn't like him. So
Oh, dude, he was such a dick.
He was a dick, but like looking back, I'm like, now, if I worked there now under him, like I would have been like, we would have been buds, like we would have got along because I'm way more of an asshole than I was then.
Oh yeah,
like
same.
I could have taken it better. He was just an asshole, but not like he wasn't like a bad guy. I was just a young kid, and he was a jerk to me, so I got him fired.
He was a douche, and he was like that awkward, quiet. But when you talk to him, he was always grumpy and an asshole.
Yeah,
and he wasn't old either. Like he was early 30s, probably when we were working there.
He was probably my age now. He's probably 26 or some shit. He was young.
Yeah, no, he was pretty young over there, but it was, you weren't going to get like work
Well, and
connection
I
with
knew,
him at all?
I knew the guy I was working with was going to get his job, so I was kind of like, he was the guy I was working under was kind of like, my bro at the company. So I was like, if I get this guy fired, like if I go report this, he's going to get fired, and then this guy's going to get promoted to his spot, and then I'm going to be in the clear.
Is that blowjob?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they anyway, so this all happened. They sent me home. I came back, guy pinned it on me. So I was like in there like, fuck them, dude. I'm not doing this shit. Like I'm not going to be treated like a child and sent home on timeout. Like
Right.
fire me or put me back to work.
You can't
I'll go back to work if you want, but like, and he was like, well, I think he said they wanted like an apology or something. And I was like, no, I quit. Fuck them. I'm not apologizing. I didn't do anything. So I just like walked out, and he was like, all right, I'll let them know.
Solid.
So I just fucking left. But it was fucking messy, dude. It was like 3 weeks of just sitting there like, do I have a job? And I was a kid, dude. I was taken advantage of there. Like they knew that. I was fucking not even 19. I was like 18 or 19 years old. Like,
I mean, I was working there when I was 4. I was breaking laws. Because I was like 14 or 15.
well, and that's the thing is like they gave me a job that paid a lot of money when I was young and inexperienced, and I felt indebted to them for that. And
Right.
that kind of ruined my like working career going forward, because I always had that like I don't know how to I don't want to use the word trauma, but you know what I mean? Like it was very micromanagey and like very like, yes sir, no sir, yes master, like
Right.
I shouldn't have said that, but you know what I mean? It was very like that, and I've gone into every job like that since then, and it's really like made me a very codependent employee.
Yeah, see, I'm not like that. With that company in specific, I feel very grateful because that gave me experience, that gave me like the opportunity to go work at Cummins at 19, and then they promoted me to supervisor at 19 years old over 40, 50-year-old mechanics. Like I got really good experience that helped me. So I'm grateful for that.
I am grateful for that too. Like I learned how to weld there. I learned how to work on shit. Like
Right.
yeah.
So like it was really good, but yeah, no, like especially me being 14, like, and there were definitely things that I was fucking up because I was 14 and
Yeah.
they were friends outside of work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to find that balance, and like it was a clusterfuck. I wouldn't go work there now. I mean,
I saw a dude the other day at Home Depot wearing one of their shirts. I was like, this guy looks like a fucking meth addict.
You know what the weirdest thing to me though is that like that what you mentioned, Boston, and even Cody was kind of getting at it a little, is that there's some kind of weird parent relationship when you're in a company like that where you know them.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that codependency comes from. And even that moment of him being like the boss guy or whatever, that's like, oh, they just want an apology. It's like, what are you, my dad? Like,
Literally,
I'm
yeah.
not mad, I'm just disappointed.
That's
and
what
we
it
can
was.
make-
I was like,
you
I'm
know,
not doing
it's
this.
like,
I'm
okay.
I'm a man now, so.
Yeah, and that's where it's weird because like my experience working with family companies where you know them, that's where that shit gets it gets a little sketchy in those areas because it's like
Yeah.
you don't know how to talk to them as like a business relationship, and then it makes it harder to come to them for like your personal like relationship with them outside of work because of that business relationship, and it just kind of taints both of them.
And that's been really it's been weird because it's made me a really good employee at family-owned companies, but when I work for corporate companies, I just don't give a fuck. And that was kind of what happened at this job that I just got laid off from, was like they went from a family company to a corporate company while I was working there. They got bought out, and I just stopped giving a fuck.
right.
Yeah.
Like I just, I was coasting for like the last 3 months.
Well, there is something to say about a benefit of a family owned because they're there to mentor you. Like they hired you because they believe in you and they want to give you that experience, like Cody said. you get this great
Right,
experience
but you
from
get all
it
the
no matter
drama
what.
and shit of the family-owned
Right.
company.
Well, and
Right.
so mine, not with this company, but like I work for my parents now.
Right,
And I've worked for them since I was 18.
and that's the worst job you've ever had, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but not even not even because of them. It's
Yeah.
because it's a contracted under a big corporate company. And so like I don't take nearly as much shit as I usually do because I know all of the inner workings, and my parents run it very well. Like we get into our spats and shit, but like my parents care about people and like they run it well. My problem always comes with the corporate managers that are halfway involved. They're not involved in our business, but what they do affects us. This is actually one of my, it's not a firing story, but if I worked under that company, I probably would have gotten fired. One day I walked into work and I don't remember what I was so pissed off about, but I was going off on my mom and just like, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you do this? Blah, blah, blah. And so one of those corporate managers who know who we are and like they work with my parents and shit like that, but we all hated him. Fucking kiss up to the main boss there, everything. And he comes over, he's like, oh, well, it sounds like you need to be more responsible, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I snapped so fucking quick back at him. I'm yelling, like from yelling at my mom, having a discussion with her. And I look at her, look over to him, like, oh, I'm sorry. Did this look like insert boss's names here? Does this look like his ass? No. Get your fucking nose out of it then. That boss and two other managers were sitting within earshot, looking over.
Damn, Cody.
And my mom,
Just damn.
my mom looks over, is like, mind your own fucking business, basically. But after I said that, the main guy there, he turns around and starts bending over. He's laughing his ass off. This old fuck, he's got like big ass Santa beard, and he's just like, because this 20-year-old kid's mouthing off to him, and no one's ever told him where to fucking shove it. And the main guy is sitting there laughing his ass off. He had to leave and go to his office because he couldn't fucking control it. And like everyone's standing there and it gets real quiet and he just like slowly turns around and my mom looks at me. She's like, it was funny, but you can't. Like, don't. You can, but don't.
Have you ever had like a really bad layoff? Or a really bad firing or
Me?
quitting? Yeah.
I never got actually fired. I kind of walked out on a job at B-Dubs. I was doing, I was plating all the trays for the servers, because they had ended up calling me in because they needed the help. And so I was like, all right, whatever. They were going to pay me $15, $16 an hour to do it. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. And so I'm plating all of these. I'm a server, so I know how all of this shit goes. Like, I've been trained in all of it, but we're just swamped. And so, like, I'm expoing everything. And then I had one fucking Karen-ass server that I couldn't stand anyways. And, like, she starts just grabbing shit from the window, which you do not do. Because there's multiple things being made at the same time. Like, don't grab that food. Like, that is not yours. Stop fucking
That
with
might
shit.
be going to another table or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she starts doing that. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And this is in the middle of a kitchen, so like everything's loud. Everyone's yelling at each other. It's like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Get the fuck out of my window. She's like, well, if you're not gonna plate my food, I'm gonna just do it. It's like, I'm plating everyone's fucking food right now. Wait your goddamn turn. And she was like, well, no, my table matters more. Dude, I slammed one that I had like 3 little tubs of wings on already. I fucking slammed the tray down, said then everyone can fucking plate their own shit, and walked out and just left. And that night, like I was just, at that point I was assuming like, all right, I quit. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I got a phone call like 30 minutes after my shift was supposed to be. They're like, hey, like, where are you? It's like, well, I kind of walked out last night, so I figured I didn't have a job. Like, I don't know if I quit, I got fired, whatever, but like, I assume I don't work there anymore. They're like, no, she's a cunt. Word for word, she's a cunt. We understand that. But please come in. We need you. Because I was one of their top servers.
Right.
And they're like, no, like, please come in. Whatever happened last night, don't care. Just make it here as fast as you can. I was like, all right. So I've never actually been fired, but I should have been a lot.
Dude, I can't believe I didn't remember this. And I think we were doing the podcast when this happened, so I assume we talked about it on the podcast, but that wasn't even my worst fucking firing or quitting story. My worst one was fucking from the axe throwing place, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got fucking attacked by a homeless man.
Oh, right. No, we did talk about that.
So real quick. So I'm sitting at the front desk, right? This guy walks in. I have like 4 or 5 fucking groups that I'm watching and serving beer to and whatever, coaching. And this guy walks in and he's like grabbing the counter, like, you gotta call 911. And I'm like, I don't have a phone here, dude. I'm not allowed to have my phone, so I leave it in my car. Like, there's no phone here. I don't know what to tell you. And he's like, you gotta call 911. And he fucking swipes the beer cans. And obviously I did have my phone on me. So I was like, all right, I'm reaching for my phone. And he fucking reaches across the counter and fucking cold cocks me in the face. And I was like, I put my phone out. I was like, all right.
Nope.
You need to leave. Like, I gave him the out. I was like, you need to fucking leave because you just assaulted me. I'm going to let it go, but you need to not be in here now. And he fucking was like, what are you going to do about it, fat boy? Or some shit like that. And I fucking grabbed a hatchet and went over the counter at him. And I beat the fuck out of this fucking guy.
Not with the hatchet. Not with the hatchet.
I lost the hatchet when I was jumping over the counter. I dropped it when I hit the ground or something. But I fucking, like, I went up on the counter and put his head between my knees and just went down on him and started fucking wailing on him. And I was like, you need to leave. Sir, please remove yourself from the premises.
See, I'm assuming this guy was like cracked out as hell.
Yeah,
right?
Oh,
he was,
Like,
yeah, no,
you
he
know.
was fucked up.
But-
then the cops came and we're standing outside and I'm like giving my statement to the cops and I look over at him and he's like crying and his fucking face is like purple and like bulging. He's like,
See-
so do you want to press charges? I was like, no, I think he got.
I think we're
he's
good.
I think you should just take him to the hospital, probably. So I didn't press charges, but looking back, I probably should have, honestly, because like.
Probably
That's
would
the
help
only-
you save your job.
Well,
Not that
I didn't
you
get
wanted
fired
it.
from that. I quit. They
Oh,
were
did you?
trying, dude. They called me for like 2 weeks after I quit, trying to get me to come back.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was on the phone with my manager. He was like, dude, we really don't want to see you go. I was like, I told you guys fucking a year ago, you need to get security down here. We're on Colfax. Like, there has to be security here. There's fucking dangerous weapons. You only have 2 people working here at any given time. Sometimes they have only 1 person working there at any given time. And one of them was like a very small female. And I was like, you need to have security here.
You guys need this.
There are homeless people camped outside of our fucking building. And say whatever you want, dude. I'm not like, say whatever you want. Homeless people, this, that, and the other. One of them attacked me. So I think I get to say that they are dangerous, So,
It's not the first crackhead that you fought either.
but I'm like, yeah, well, I also used to work on Federal. What do you want, dude? That's just where you
Boston-
run into crackheads.
Boston's capitalizing on the most dangerous parts of Colorado.
He really
When are you
is.
working in Pueblo next, dude?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I should just move to Pueblo and fucking
Honestly,
get it
it's
going
cheap.
down there. Nah, yeah, no, that was definitely my worst one because I'm driving up to see my girlfriend at Fort Collins and I'm calling my manager. I'm calling everybody. I'm like, let me fucking talk to somebody. Because I just then that was like right at the end of my shift that happened. So like I left like 10 minutes early. I left and I'm driving up and I'm like, fucking let me talk to, I'm calling the corporate hotline. Anybody fucking talk to me. Cody, grab me a beer.
Cody, grab me a beer.
And he finally fucking like put me through to my manager. And I'm just like, I fucking quit, dude. I told you we needed security down here and you didn't do it. So it is what it is. I'm out. And then they called me for like 2 weeks after that. Like, please don't leave. Blah, 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 blah. And last I heard, they still didn't have security there.
You know, think is so freaking crazy. Is my point about being so cracked up. I think that like, if you're that I'm assuming you're pretty paranoid once you're pretty cracked out like that. Who the hell charges at a man that's holding an axe in the first place? I think that'd
Literally,
make me
dude.
more scared. Like,
I'm standing at the counter just like, anybody you want to get fucked with? I got 5 axes back here. Come at me. No,
maybe he had a death wish, bro. I don't know.
That
but
wasn't
that's
even the first time that happened, dude. At that place, that was the second time I was attacked by a homeless guy. The first time, a homeless guy came in and took an axe from a customer and tried to kill himself with it. And the customer wrestled the axe away from him. And then I was at the counter because I was like checking somebody else in. Somebody ran up and told me, so I ran over there. The dude's like just like fighting a customer, so I dragged him off the customer and pushed him outside. And he's like standing outside calling me all kinds of shit, and I close the door and lock it, and everybody's like, whoa, and I was like, I goddamn told these fuckers to get security. So
See, you know what's crazier to me too, even more, is that like they won't put security there, but they're literally gonna lose business over it, because if that was like an experience I had as a customer there, you know, I'm writing every freaking review I can. I'm gonna call the company and I'm gonna tell everybody to never go there.
dude, so I worked for that company for like a year and a half, and in the time I worked for them, and I worked at 2 locations, but the one on Colfax, they shot the window out of the front window out 2 times in the entire time I worked there. Like during the course of the time I worked there, they shot the window out 2 times. And there was a fucking dumpster fire that was set across the street at the 7-Eleven. And they still didn't think they should get security there.
No, fuck it. Dude, I had to piss so fucking bad.
I think we're getting towards the end of this one, eh?
Yeah, I had a thought last night, and it reminded me as well while I was taking a piss. Emma, you won't know about this, but
Dude, I shit in the bathroom. It's okay. Go ahead.
well, no.
You shit in the bathroom?
Sometimes
Dude, I usually
outside.
try the
I don't know.
sidewalk.
I go outside.
It's really
you
been the-
fucking plebe.
Yeah.
Really been the trend of 2022.
Oh, I didn't know we had a sheeple on the podcast. Because the government tells you to shit inside, you do it.
Oh.
And that's why I built an outhouse.
So, like, you go to public restrooms and shit, and the urinal, you notice how there's always, like, pubes fucking sitting there?
Yeah, there's usually a couple, like, there's some pubes, there's usually a Zen pouch, maybe some dip.
Yeah, no, that's always the fun ones. It's also pretty dick move to throw a Zen pouch in there. Like, it's not gonna go anywhere,
Yeah.
dude. There's a trash
Somebody's
can
gotta
behind
fish
you.
that out.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've done it, but like, it's a dick
yeah, I've
move.
definitely done it.
But there's always fucking pubes in there,
Mhm.
and especially as a kid,
Think
I was
about
like-
cloning somebody or something?
no, from their pube.
Where did you get that? 7-Eleven, dude.
Oh, it's another crackhead. But no, like I always wondered, like, how are people losing pubes? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, your pubes are just falling out.
Yeah.
But I always
was
felt
this your
left
thought
out.
yesterday? Was this your thought yesterday? Do you
Yeah.
not have pubes, Cody?
What?
What?
What? No, I didn't hear what you said.
No, yeah, I feel like that's an old person thing to have pubes falling out, though.
Yeah, no, but like, as a kid, I was just like, well, this doesn't make sense because I was just sprouting mine. And
We're talking about when you were a kid. That was my question. Sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And so it was
These
always
guys got ones to spare. He's gluing them on.
and that's the story of how Cody got crabs.
Right.
But no, I was sitting there, like I'd sit there and wonder, like how did they fall out? How did they fall out? And so when I had finally started growing pubes, there were multiple times where I would pluck one of my own just to add to the collection. Just because I wanted to mark my dead fucking serious.
You're right, Cody. I cannot relate to this story
There
at
were-
all.
There.
Can Boston relate? Boss, do you relate to this?
No. That's fucking crazy.
There are multiple fucking urinals out there
Can somebody
that
hit
I
the
have
I'm
marked my
retarded
goddamn territory on.
Boston, hit it.
Are
I'm
you
kind of
all right,
retarded.
bro?
I don't think anybody's okay right now.
Huh?
I don't think anybody's okay right now.
No, bro. I used to pluck pubes and just fucking mark my territory because I was like, these motherfuckers are not gonna take my urinal. I went full dog energy on that shit, bro.
Boss, did you ever stand outside the bathroom?
Did you have like bathroom tweezers, or were you just
Yeah.
No, bro.
grabbing a handful?
Fucking,
See what came out.
I used the fingernail and just fucking rip. And those, especially when they're first growing in, those things are anchored in there.
Cody thought that was like part of the. You had to leave pube tribute to use the fucking bathroom.
Like, take a penny.
Man, I
leave a
really have to
penny.
pee, but I haven't let them grow it out.
I just shaved.
Cody was playing leave a pube, take a pube. Boss, did you ever stand outside the bathroom, wait for Cody any day, and he's just like, ow.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I feel like there's definitely a time where I've been waiting for Cody to use the restroom and he's put a pube in a urinal now that I'm looking back at it. How long did you do that? How long did you do this?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I didn't do it now. Not every time, but you know, you gotta mark your damn territory.
So I guess you were lying when I asked you were thinking about this yesterday, because you did it yesterday.
Oh my
No, I didn't do it yesterday because it was in my own toilet.
He just
Oh, so
remembered
you gotta
it.
Yeah, it
respect
just, like,
your own
kinda
toilet. I
came to
get it.
mind
He was
and-
like, oh, fuck, I remember when I used to fucking leave my pubes behind as a little trinket.
Well, and sometimes you got one that's just like too long because you missed while you're trimming up and shit, and you're just like,
You thought that's
Well-
where guys did their trimming was at the urinal? They were just like, that one's a little too long.
well, I can guarantee you at least one guy does that.
Dude,
I've met him today, apparently. Fuck, dude. That's so fucking funny.
my God, I thought
Can you make this
I
the
thought-
intro part so people actually listen to this episode?
female bathrooms were bad, my guy.
Oh, no, female bathrooms are worse. I can say that. I've cleaned them. They're disgusting.
Oh no, they absolutely are. Like for
Oh.
like cleanliness, yes, but for weirdness, no.
Dude, I blew my nose the other day and I had a bloody
made-
nose.
He made me fucking Burt Kreischer, dude. I just went whistles.
I had
Is
a
your
bloody
face all
nose
red?
the other day and I went and blew my nose and it was all red and shit and in the paper towel and I threw it in the toilet. I swear to God, it looked like a goddamn used tampon just fucking sitting there. I was like, oh, dude, I do not want to be part of a woman's restroom.
Oh, yeah.
Those little
Yeah, you
dead
just leave 'em
mice.
on the floor and shit.
Yeah, especially when you're pulling your pubes out, dude. No one wants you in there.
Bloody pubes.
Ew.
Okay. Well, my head hurts now.
Worth it. Uh,
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I'm gonna be thinking about this for a while, and that's the unfortunate part. Is now I got to think about Cody's pubes.
I'm gonna tell everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna text
And-
people about this.
yeah.
Like, did you know Cody used to leave his pubes at the urinal?
See, I don't tell people I'm part of producing this podcast now, but this is the episode that I'm gonna start telling people. I just started
you gotta-
producing.
Just skip to the end.
Yeah, just watch the last 10 minutes or so. It'll be good.
Oh my god.
I'll make sure to clip that and put it into the intro.
All right, guys. On that note, follow us on Instagram at Don't Tell Me Cast, at Don't Tell Me Podcast. Also is a backup page. I put that out on our main page. Twitter, Don't Tell Me Podcast. Anything else?
Yeah,
All
any
the things,
applications
Rumble,
for Boston?
YouTube,
Oh.
downloads on Spotify. Apple Podcasts has been pretty good to us lately.
Yeah, anywhere you listen to your podcast, you can get share us with your friends. We've been putting up good numbers, so keep it up. Just keep listening, keep sharing, and big things in the works. Big things in the works.
Remember to
Anywhere-
mark your territory, bitches.
Yeah, pull out a pube at the urinal later. Is that real?
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.